All right, with an understanding of our two stock pricing models, I think we're about ready to learn how to use these, okay? So I've written an example up here, and we're going to go through that example carefully. You'll see the example says, suppose a firm anticipates paying a dividend of $3 next year and $4 in the year after. Also assume that the price of that stock in year 2 is going to be $100. So according to our dividend models, what should the price of the stock be today if the required return by shareholders is equal to 15%? So the first thing we do when we have a question is to see whether or not, which model we use. Do we use the dividend discount model or the dividend growth model? A couple of things to note here. We see that the dividend is growing from year 1 to year 2, from $3 to $4. We don't know if it's growing at a constant rate. We're also given the information that the price of the stock in year 2 is going to be $100. So again, we can only use the Gordon growth model or the dividend growth model if we know that dividends are growing at a constant rate of G, whatever G is, indefinitely. And so we can't use the Gordon growth model in this particular problem. We're going to have to use the dividend discount model. I'm going to pull up Excel here. And here I have time period 1 and time period 2. These are the dividends that are going to be paid in each of those time periods, as well as the price of the stock in time period 2. So we're going to use this model. We're first going to calculate the present value of the first dividend. Okay, so the present value of the first dividend, let me do this. I'm going to type in, this is present value in year 1. And I'll say this is present value in year 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say equals to $3 divided by 1 plus R, where R is equal to the required rate of return by shareholders, which is 15%. So that's 1.15 raised to the power of 1. Does that make sense? So this is the first dividend, the dividend in year 1 in present value terms. I'm discounting that dividend back 1 year by a rate of 15%. And I get a dividend in present value terms of $2.61 about. In year 2, I'm going to take the dividend in year 2 and put it in present value terms. So I'm going to say equals my $4 dividend in year 2. I'm going to divide that by 1 plus R, 1.15 raised to the power of 2. And that $4 dividend that will be paid 2 years in the future is only worth $3 and about 2 cents in today's terms. So this is the present value of the first year's dividend, the present value of the second year's dividend. Notice that I only have 2 years of dividends and I have the price of the stock in year 2. So I also need to figure out what the price of the stock is. So I need to figure out the present value of the price of the stock in year 2. So I'm going to say equals this divided by 1 plus R, right? The price of the stock in year 2 divided by 1 plus R. And I'm going to raise this, note that I'm going to raise this to the power of 2. This is the price of the stock in year 2, so I'm going to discount that price back 2 years. And the $100 stock in 2 years is going to be priced at $75.61 in present value terms. So the price today is just going to equal the sum of the present value of the dividends and the present value of the face value of the stock, or the price of the stock in year 2. So I'm just going to say equals the sum of these 3 cells, and I get a price of $81.25. So using the dividend discount model, or according to this model, given the information in example 1, the price of the stock should be $81.24. Now let me talk about how you would use this in practice. So some of you might not be too excited to actually use this model to invest in stocks, but say that you were confident that this is the price that you believe the stock should be. All right. So if you were to go to, say, Yahoo Finance or Google Finance or Bloomberg or some other online platform and find that the price of the stock is currently trading at $80 instead of $81.25, you could make an investment decision based on that information, right? If currently the price of the stock is $80 and you've derived what you consider the true price of the stock to be 81.25, then you think that the current price of the stock located on Bloomberg or Yahoo Finance, whatever, is undervalued. So you would buy that stock relative to the true price that you just calculated.